What's going on, everybody? Adachi here, coming at you from the Boar's Hat. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some PvP teams that I've been experimenting with or I've been taking a look at. And I just kind of wanted to show them off so that way I can maybe, you know, get the creative juices bubbling or something in your brains, your noggins, to figure out what kind of teams maybe you want to do. Mostly I want to focus in on ideas, not necessarily the teams exactly, but I mean, if you have the teams exactly, then, you know, cool shit. My number one tip is to never stop being creative, never stop trying out different things, as I've, you know, I've messed with these different teams about, I don't know, 10 different times now, just to kind of see what works, what's giving me the best win rate, and I think we found some interesting ones that I wanted to show off. And these are all probably going to be gearless if it's stated otherwise. You know, hopefully I remember to pop some text in there saying otherwise. But we're going to start with this team right here in gearless, and the team's going to be a green Bond, Gowther King, and Arthur in the backline. You could do something else in the backline. I'm taking Arthur because he is still somebody who can benefit the team if he comes out after somebody dies, and he does have a passive that is going to give boost to at least one character. And just to make sure, yeah, it is one character. And now that I'm seeing that, I'm a little more upset about taking Arthur in the backline. His passive only affects humans, so it's only really going to help Bon. It's not really going to help out King or Gowther. And then the sub slots are just, you know, whatever you want to put in your sub slots. And because I am not a tryhard, we are going to be just doing a coin food. I don't really mess with the ult food, the dodge food, if that really helps you, you know, progress, and I'm sure it would 100% help. But personally, I value the coin food way more right now. Alright, first match, and we are in Master 4, I believe, so we'll see how this goes. And to be fair, and I'm gonna warn everybody ahead of time, my CP is pretty low for geared and gearless, so in my rankings, I'm pretty much always going second. So we're always having to play from behind, and I don't think it's too bad. It makes the matches more fun, but it is also frustrating to do it over and over again. Here we can see we have a blue Diane team, almost a full mirror, but they've got Diane instead of Gowther. And let's see, they have one ult orb going, so I'm going to assume they have a Merlin in the back, or they're using some coin food in the back. And this is a pretty good hand to start off with, but not perfect. We're going to go ahead and Dispel. Pop out our own Snatch, because that's pretty much what it is when you're fighting Bonds on Bonds. It's just going to be, you know, Snatch on Snatch action, and who can keep Dispels up longer. Unfortunately, that's not going to be me, but we're also seeing we have some rank up, so we can go ahead and get some double ranks here. And that'll be nice, but unfortunately, it is going to take up 2 turns, so there's not a whole lot we're going to actually be able to get done on this turn. And we can see Bon already has an ult. We're taking quite a bit of damage, or at least King is especially. So I'm not liking our odds here. So let's go ahead and rank up Gowther, and then we're going to go ahead and do one more rank up, so that way it'll give the whole team a rank up. And I would petrify Bon here, but he's probably just going to Dispel it anyway, so not a whole lot to here. We'll attack Seal, I guess. This match already isn't looking good just because he's got the early ult, and we didn't exactly get the best cards. I will say they are very useful, but at this rate, with King dying so early and us not getting enough Dispels as I would have liked, which is pretty much what I expect. That's why I didn't want to burn the Snatch, just because I figured he was going to do it anyway, and it'd be a wasted turn. Might as well get some damage out instead. And I gotta say, I'm hella surprised that not even Snatched, he couldn't kill King like that, and he wasted a Petrify on the King to finish him off for some reason. Super weird there. I can't say I quite understand the strategy going into that one, but, you know, take what we can get. So we're just gonna go for as much damage as possible here. I don't believe that he's snatched us, so we should be able to kill off Diane or King here. Oh, both. Yeah, that's how dirty those rank 3 cards are right there. Especially with a full team snatch, so this is turning around very nicely. So those Gowther rank ups were definitely useful, and the fact that he went after King was also pretty good. With the fact that we didn't get a lot of King cards, so we were able to build it. I mean, honestly, this is super lucky. If you get a bunch of Bond cards, it's a pretty lucky hand. And just looking at what we have here again, as I say, it's unfortunate we're not going to be able to get the Dispel, but we're going to be able to clear off this ult and kill Bon immediately. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and keep the Bon ult this time, so we can just speed it up, because a lot of people don't want to surrender for some reason when they're down to 1 person against 3. So we'll go ahead and attack Seal, so that way she can't remove ult gauge here. And this match is pretty much a wrap now. Good shit. I went into that honestly expecting to lose after losing King so early, but with some lucky Gowther and Bond cards, we really turned that one around. Now, of course, since Gowther just came out, he's going to be probably a big part of a lot of these strategies, but we are also going to try out Galand as well. As you can see, he's already ready up, and I did try him out a little bit, but we'll talk about him later on. Alright, so next team, less CP, since we're now going to be using our Gilthunder in the back line here. So Gilthunder, obviously just for his passive here. If he comes out, he can give a good buff, which can be helpful. But as you can see, not a whole lot of change to this team. I really just moved Arthur up, but he changes up how the strategy works entirely, because you basically got one goal now when you're going forward with this. And he can be a pretty decent counter for Bomb, but it really just does depend on the RNG luck of this team right here. And some other people have had like really great success with this team. I initially tried this team when I first got the new Gowther, and I just didn't have as much success. So we're gonna try it out this time and see if maybe I can actually show it off a little better. And somehow, did we go first right here? Okay, we did. This is genuinely surprising, but it looks like yeah, we can only. Looks like he got a very unlucky. He got very unlucky that this is what happened right off the bat. But this is the strategy right here. Your goal is to get 2 Arthur buff cards so you can get a rank 3 off of a Gowther rank up. And once you have this rank 3 buff, it's really hard for the enemy team to fight against it, especially if they're running King. You know, King, Jericho, this is honestly like one of the worst teams they could have won against with this this comp here, because now they can't debuff, they can't petrify, they can't snatch. Jericho's damage boost is non-existent. Bond, you know, he's still going to do okay damage, and that's honestly the goal whenever you're facing this team, if you are running a Bond, is to not waste snatches like that, but to just try and do your whip as much as possible. As you can see, this is a little ridiculous now with the Gil passive as well in the back, so we're not only incredibly tanky, but we're also going to hit pretty freaking hard here. So unfortunately we didn't get any other rank ups though, but we'll go ahead and see what we can go ahead and work with. I think we're just gonna go for something like that. And then I'm not really sure. Really, we're just going for damage here with the 2 dispel cards that we unfortunately have. And that should be enough to kill off Jericho, hopefully. If not, she's at least petrified, which even still... Oops, I'm sorry, I hit that mic there. Yeah, we're not getting the best hand here, but okay, we have a Gowther rank up, and... yeah, when people see how this team works out, that is actually what happens a lot. Honestly, when I run into this team a lot now, I kind of just forfeit too, because it's kind of dog shit to go against, not gonna lie. But it is also very RNG heavy, was whether or not you're gonna get that turn 1. Turn 1 obviously is going to really sway the entire match in your favor, because then it's just a matter of building up another Gowther rank up, and then waiting on some more Arthur buffs. If you end up getting the setup a little later on, it can be a little more detrimental to the team, but overall, I'd say it is still a very solid team. Like I said, though, just for me, RNG-wise, and maybe it's because I was playing it wrong the first time I tried out the team, that one is a very solid one and a little scary. And you might run into a lot of forfeits like we just saw there. Alrighty, and then the last team we want to take a look at is going to be a more Galand-centric team, and this is going to be in geared PvP, in Plat, not Master gearless anymore. And the premise behind this team is, of course, going to be the commandment that's going to help you counter out Gowther. Also his passive that could potentially help counter out Green Bond if you end up running into him, as well as the buff that you're going to be getting from Arthur, since he does land, I think, like 3 buffs onto the team, and then King just to help support any kind of fuckery that goes on, help keep the team topped up a little bit. You honestly could even try out a healer, maybe. Might not be the best idea, but you can also try like a Green Elizabeth. And the other thing I want to have people consider is going to be the SSR Blue Ellie Hawk. She is another crazy unit. In fact, we should take a look at her real quick. So I think currently this Blue Ellie Hawk, she's going to get the most use out of PvP in just this current meta when we have like Galand kind of helping shine a little bit. And I do think that Galand is more usable in geared than he is in gearless, and I do think that he is going to shine even more depending on how high of a CP you end up having. So the higher your stats are, the more damage he does, the easier it is to nuke teams. Same going for the Ellie Hawk here is more benefit, whereas in gearless, you know, it's going to be kind of fluctuating. And I've had less success in gearless, but you know, if you want to try it out there too, feel free. But the big premise behind the Blue Ellie Hawk here is the fact that she's also going to have Amplify. This is the same thing that Galand has on his single target attack, where it's going to increase damage dealt by 30% per active buff. So it's not only going to benefit Galand, but also Ellie Hawk here to go ahead and get those Arthur buffs. And she also has a buff of herself. And this is a really, really great buff. So it's not only something else that's going to stack on top of the Arthur buff, it's also really good. Plus 30% resistance, that's nothing to scoff at, especially when you run into a lot of those teams with Hauser, and a big premise for Hauser is to do a bunch of pierce damage. and this is going to help negate that, and in general, it's just going to mitigate a bunch of damage. So if you have Blue Ellie Hawk and, you know, whatever reason you have all the pendants and mats, whatever, you're really, you know, trying to stay super competitive in PvP, I'd say give it a shot. It sounds pretty solid on paper. I haven't been able to test it out myself because I don't have her, but just being able to, you know, keep everybody else alive a little longer, as well as just making the nuke potential that much scarier, I think it would be a really solid team. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the one that I have here, and of course, you know, never stop experimenting. Alright, so geared, whoever Mika is, and we're actually winning in CP for once. Actually, I think I've faced this person before, but they are doing the Gowther, Bon, and Arthur comp, so I already don't like this team, so I think we're gonna go for Gowther just because he's a bit squishier. Actually, no, his Arthur is not even very high leveled, so we're actually gonna go for this real quick. We'll go ahead and go straight into the Galand. Go ahead and get that off, and we'll go ahead and just do a king attack for more damage. We're not really going for the petrifies necessarily, we're just going for kill potential. So that's going to bring him down low, and he doesn't really have any means to recover from that. And we did actually coerce the bond, so this is actually super unfortunate for his team already. His snatch is going to do absolutely nothing, and he's totally going to be going for a rank 3 buff here. That's not necessarily going to help him, and that is actually going to give me a free petrify if he ends up ranking up at all. Which he didn't. He did just go for the Dispel, which I'm not sure why he wanted to cancel out the Dispel there. But, you know, to each their own. We're just going to keep going like that. So, some okay damage there, mostly just for the bleed there. Made sure to stay targeted and use the King attack first, so we can make sure to kill him off. And Bond is honestly not even a threat right now. His ult will be slightly threatening, but honestly not really, because it has to go straight onto Galand anyway. Oh, and we have the disgusting rank 3, and oh, this is looking bad for him. This is looking bad. I think Gowther's pretty much dead here. Unless he attack seals, of course, unless he attack seals, because the buff's about to wear off, so. But we're still going to go ahead and try for the strat and see how a rank 3 fares with just a regular Arthur buff. So we're going to get a little bit of health back here. Not too much. Honestly, I just went for the regular Dispel. Oh my god, 100k on a rank 3. That is disgusting. That is absolutely... And now Gowther is very squishy, but I'd be I'd be pretty peeved if I just saw that. And we did get the Galand ult. He doesn't have a Merlin or anything to actually remove any ult gauge, so this match is pretty much over once Galand is able to get one ult off. And there you have it, the forfeit right there. He knew there wasn't really anything he could do with Bond being coerced and whatnot, so I don't think this is the best display of this team, because that is a very RNG thing if you're able to coerce the Bond, pretty much making him useless. But regardless, still a really good strat. That's all I really wanted to show off today, was like the Galand nuke potential, and of course, as you can see, like my gear is okay. We can go and actually take a look at my gear real quick. Specifically the Galand gear, as you can see, I'm actually planning on finally swapping out and doing some rare gear on the right side for all my teams, but everybody's using common right side still. I think I'll upgrade to rare, because at least rare is a double stat boost on the base stats, just quite a bit of a gold investment. And then we've got a decent left side gear with full rolls into attacks. We can even take a look, and they're all pretty good rolls, all at least 50% or higher. So personally, I just think that this team in general could shine a lot, you know, harder the higher of the CP you go, because I know a lot higher, you know, when you get into like champ level, people are running like 140k CP and whatnot. But yeah, that shows off kind of my team tryouts in the current meta. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what your teams are looking like right now. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.